back to the Gridiron Expert. We're continuing our Pac-12 football predictions today, and we are here at beautiful Rice-Eccles Stadium here at Utah, where we're taking a little bit of a road trip out west, so we'll have a couple Pac-12 predictions, a couple Big 12 predictions live from these guys' stadiums, and we're here at Utah today for our first Pac-12 team on the road. So we're just going to go ahead and break it down for you. And in case you hear a couple bit of a background noise, they're preparing for an Imagine Dragons concert this upcoming weekend. So if you see them coming into the film a little bit, or you hear some trucks moving and all that, that's exactly what it is. But we're going to do our best to overshadow that and break down some Utes football. So Utah, they returned 14 starters this year, including 8 on offense and 6 on defense. Went 7-6 last year and could have really almost had an 11-2 record. They went 4-0 to start off the year. They lost to Stanford by 3. They lost to USC by 1. They lost to Washington State by 8, and then Washington by 3, where they allowed the Huskies to score 10 points in the final 58 seconds. So all in all, they lost 4 games by a combined 15 points. So they very well could have been at least a 9-win, 10-win team, maybe even an 11-win team if they had been able to pull out all of those close losses. But this year, I expect them to be stronger than that 7-6 record they had last year. They returned quarterback Tyler Huntley. They returned their running back Zack Moss, who rushed for over 1,100 yards last year. And they returned Simpkins, one of their star wide receivers, and 4 offensive linemen. So I'm very excited for this Utes offense. I think they're going to be one of the more dangerous offenses in this Pac-12 South. A lot of people have them projected just right behind USC. On defense, my biggest concern for the Utes this year is on the defensive line. They're going to have a very thin defensive line. They have a freshman in Mike Tufua and sophomore Pita Tonga on the defensive line. Really not a whole lot of experience there along that line, but their secondary is what's going to be kind of their leading spot on this defense. They're going to be led by Julian Blackman, Marquise Blair, and Corian Ballard. 3 of their 4 returning secondary members are going to be right there. So they're going to have a very strong secondary, I think, for the Utes this season. They're going to open up the season against Weber State. Obviously a win for Utah there. And on the road at Northern Illinois, another interesting Group of 5 versus Power 5 school here. Going on the road, which is not super common for these Power 5 opponents, but Northern Illinois, not a team that Utah can afford to overlook here. The Huskies lost to Boston College last year by just 3 points, and then went on the road and beat Nebraska. They also returned 14 starters, including their quarterback and Marcus Childers and defensive end Sutton Smith. So they're going to have 14 returning starters there. Not a team they can overlook. Certainly another good threat in the MAC, but I think Utah's going to be able to go on the road and get another win over Northern Illinois. And then they get Washington back at home. A Huskies team that I really think is going to win the Pac-12 North, could potentially make the college football playoff. You got Jake Browning at quarterback, Miles Gaskin at running back, solid wide receiver, solid offensive line, solid head coach in Chris Peterson, and probably their best defense that they've had since 2016 when they made the college football playoff. So they're lucky to get Washington early on in the season. They're unfortunate to draw them out of the North, but they get them early on in the season, and it's at home. Maybe they could pull off an upset of the Huskies, but I'm going to give Utah a loss here to Washington. I just don't see them being able to get the win over what I think is maybe Chris Peterson's best team that he's had at Washington. Then the early bye week. Sometimes that's a good thing for teams, sometimes that's a bad thing. I personally think it's a bad thing to get your break that early on in the season. They get the bye week going into Washington State, the team they lost to by just 8 points last year, one of those close losses that they could have won. But Washington State loses a lot of star power on their team, namely Luke Falk at quarterback. They get Gardner Minshew coming in from East Carolina, so a solid quarterback replacement there. But this is a very, very inexperienced team, and Utah's coming off a bye week. I think they're going to be able to go on the road and get a win over the Cougars. Shouldn't be much of an issue there. Then on the road to Stanford, back-to-back road games. Last year, here at Utah, they only lost to Stanford by 3 points. That's another one of those close losses that they could have won, potentially could have drastically changed their season, really would have helped in the conference standings. This year, they're on the road at Stanford. KJ Costello, Bryce Love, 4 offensive linemen, David Shaw and a solid defense. I believe they have 6 returning starters on the defensive side of the ball. This is a Stanford team that is probably Washington's biggest threat in the Pac-12 North, and right now, I just don't see Utah being to the point where they can beat the Cardinals, so I'm going to give them their second loss to Stanford. Then Arizona, back at home on a Friday night here at Rice-Eccles Stadium. This is going to be a really intriguing game. You got Kevin Sumlin coming in from Texas A&M. 9 returning starters on the defensive side of the ball, 7 returning starters on offense, including Khalil Tate, one of the better players in the entire nation, one of the better quarterbacks in the entire nation when it comes to dual threat. It's extremely difficult to stop here for Arizona, for Utah. You got J.J. Taylor there at the running back position. 3 of their top 4 wide receivers return. And like I said, 9 returning starters on defense, so they're not going to be a slouch either. This is a team that I really think could surprise people in the Pac-12 South, but despite it being on the road and everything like that, I'm going to give Utah the win over Arizona. Despite it being on the road for the Wildcats, despite Arizona, I think having a team that could shock some people, I'm going to give Utah the big-time win at home over the Wildcats. Back at home against USC, they get 8 days to prepare for this game. They lost on the road to USC by 1 point last year, and that was with a better USC team. That was with Sam Darnold, some of their big-time wide receivers, the solid defense. USC is not going to be a slouch this year by any means, but Utah almost beat them on the road. They were a much better team that made the Cotton Bowl, won the Pac-12 championship. So I just don't see USC coming here to Rice-Eccles Stadium beating the Utes. I think this is going to be a big-time win that could potentially benefit Utah in trying to get to their first Pac-12 championship game. And I think they beat the Trojans here at home. It's going to be a great crowd. And I really just, like I said, you saw how close they were last year, and it hurts to lose to a team like USC just by 1 point on the road. I think they get the win at home, get the job done. At UCLA, yes, Chip Kelly comes in. He's not going to be the immediate savior for the Bruins. He's a solid head coach. I think he will get them up to dominance in the Pac-12 South fairly quickly, just like he did with Oregon many years ago. But UCLA has a lot of questions on both sides of the ball, namely on offense. They don't really have a quarterback. Will it be Wilton Spade? Will it be a true freshman? We don't know yet. But Chip Kelly, I think in time will get the Bruins there. But I don't expect a whole lot out of him in this Bruins team this year. I think they will be lucky if they can get to a bowl game. So I'm going to give Utah another win over the Bruins here. And then they only got 4 games left in the season. They have 2 losses, so not bad, and both respectable losses to Washington, Stanford, by far the better teams in the Pac-12 North. On the road to Arizona State, you got Herm Edwards coming in, one of the best hires I think in the offseason. Maybe it might not work out for the Sun Devils, but at least it's going to be entertaining. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch to see Herm Edwards come back to the coaching ranks. I love this Arizona State offense. You've got Manny Wilkins at QB. You've got, I think, top 6 wide receivers returning for the Sun Devils. This is going to be a very potent Arizona State offense with 8 returning starters. The defense is what concerns me with 4 returning starters, but this game's on November 3rd. They're entering the final month of the college football season. Surely this defense will be able to build some chemistry and fix any problems they have that they'll have at the beginning of the season and be more prepared and more agile coming into the last stretch of the season. I think Arizona State gets a big-time win over Utah at home. Arizona State, one of the toughest places to play. They have a great home field winning percentage over these past 5 years. You can go check out our video on that. But I think they're going to lose to the Sun Devils on the road. And they got 2 of the remaining 3 games at home to close out the year. Oregon. Unfortunately for Utah, they draw the top 3 teams out of the Pac-12 North on this game. You got Washington, you got Stanford, and you got Oregon. So that's the bad news. But fortunately for the Utah, they've got 2 of those games at home, Washington and Oregon. Utah is bound to win one of those 3 games. They're bound to. And I think they get that one here against the Ducks. An Oregon team that I do expect to have a lot of success this year. Really, I think could threaten Washington or Stanford for maybe 1st or 2nd in the Pac-12 North. The biggest thing for them is can they stay healthy? Can they keep Justin Herbert healthy? Can the rest of the team stay healthy? They went 7-5 in the regular season last year. Mario Cristobal comes in after Willie Taggart left. So a little bit of questions there, but I think Utah, the type of offense they have, and maybe the defense. You know, Oregon crushed Utah last year with, I think it was over 300 yards on the ground this year. 347 yards on the ground last year, en route to a 21-point win for the Ducks. Not going to happen this year. The Utah defense is going to be much better. They're going to get a big-time win at home. They get a big-time win on the road against Colorado, a team that I think could get back to a bowl game. You know, 2 years ago they were playing the Pac-12 Championship Game. Not going to happen this year, but they should be able to get back to a bowl game. I have a lot of respect for Stephen Montez. I have a lot of respect for Mike McIntyre there as head coach. The defense should be a lot more improved with 6 returning starters, and I think they get the win. Utah gets the win over the Buffaloes on the road. And at BYU, Utah's won 7 straight in the Holy War over the Cougars. I expect that to be 8 straight this year. BYU coming off a 4-9 year last year. Don't expect much to change this year. It's another brutal schedule for the Cougars. But their biggest thing, like Oregon, got to keep the quarterback healthy in Tanner Mangum. They're going to have some questions on both sides of the ball. Maybe they'll improve a little bit, but I don't even know if they're going to make a bowl game this year. This game's at home. It's the final week of the season. Utah's still technically in the running for the Pac-12 Championship game. Even though this is not a conference game, they're going to be hyped anytime you play a rivalry game. I think they get a big-time win over the Cougars to finish the year 9-3. Some people might disagree with that. Maybe you'll disagree with the Arizona State loss. I think the Washington and Stanford losses are respectable and probably to be expected. Maybe they lose to USC. Maybe they lose to Oregon. But I do think they'll get at least 1 win out of those top 3 North opponents. And this could be the year that Utah breaks through and makes the Pac-12 Championship game for the first time. So a very solid year for Kyle Whittingham and his staff and his team with 14 returning starters. I cannot wait to see what the Utes do this year here at Rice-Eccles Stadium. So thank you for watching. Please continue to like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you next time on The Gridiron Expert.